the Second Coming of Christ ministry, Adewale Giwa has faulted the conduct of the governorship primary election conducted by the All Progressives Congress APC in Ondo State. Giwa described the exercise as a disgrace to democracy and called on President Bola Tinubu to quickly intervene. Recall that the exercise was characterized with violence, protests in Okitikupa, Idori, Akure, the state capital, Shukari Akoko, Southwest, and other areas by governorship aspirants, party members across the state. Political thugs who stormed voting centers disrupted the exercise and prevented supporters of some governorship aspirants from voting. The governorship aspirants complained that election materials were reportedly not taken to many wards across the state. Giwa was speaking in Akure, called on the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokunko, to invite the State Commissioner of Police for questioning. We have a long way there. On Vanguard newspaper this morning, the headline, Ondo APC primary, a disgrace to democracy.
Right from Leadership newspaper, PDP crisis beyond Atiku Wike Senate caucus speaking this morning. The Senate caucus of the People's Democratic Party PDP yesterday said the crisis rocking the party is beyond the rift between PDP presidential candidates in the 2023 general elections, Atiku Abubakar, and the Minister of FCT, Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. The caucus described the crisis with a national executive a committee meeting last Thursday as existential. The minority leader of the Senate, who is also the leader of the People's Democratic Party Senate caucus, Abba Moro, said the survival of the acting national chairman of the party, Umar Damagu, at the NEC meeting was a win for the party, adding that it was erroneous to ascribe the meeting outcome as a defeat for Atiku or a victory for Wike. You can read for more this morning from the Leadership newspaper.
All right, taking the next story from Vanguard newspaper, why Wike was allowed into National Caucus meeting. That's coming from Senate minority leader. Says Damagun's survival, not defeat for Atiku or victory for Wike, but interest of PDP. Senate Minority Leader Senator Abba Moro, PDP Benue South, has given insight into why the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, was allowed to attend the National Caucus meeting of the People's Democratic Party PDP, preparatory to last week's National Executive Committee NEC meeting of the party. According to him, there is no way Wike could have been stopped from attending the meeting since he has not been found guilty of any crime and penalized by the party. He said if the party's disciplinary committee, headed by former president of the Senate, Senator Bukola Saraki, found Wike guilty of alleged anti-party activities and had him sanctioned, he will stop attending the party's meeting. Moro said the survival of Ambassador Umar Damagu as acting national chairman of PDP was not a victory or defeat for anybody, but a decision that was unanimously agreed by relevant stakeholders for the party to forge ahead. Vanguard newspaper has that story this morning.
From the Nation newspaper, APC to anti-Ganduje's ward exco, you are all imposters. The Ganduje Ward Executive Committee of the All Progressive Congress APC in Dawa Kintofa local government area of Kano State has said those behind yesterday's suspension of the party's national chairman, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, are imposters. Malam Haladu Gwando, who claimed to be legal advisor of an APC faction in Ganduje's ward, last week announced the suspension of Ganduje. Gwanjo, who cited alleged corruption and other vices as reasons for the suspension, said the decision was by the 9 executive member of the party in Ganduje's ward, but another faction representing the ward chairman, Malam Ahmad Ganduje, declared support for Ganduje, saying the ward officials were satisfied with his leadership style. In a statement in Abuja, the party's executive noted that after a failed attempt to suspend Ganduje, the new Nigeria People's Party NNPP government in Kano State allegedly organized a non-APC members to announce the purported suspension. You can read for more of this morning from the Nation newspaper.
This day newspaper has the next story. Serap to governors account for FARC allocations of face lawsuit. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, Serap, has asked Nigeria's 36 state governors and the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike, to account for how they spent the allocations to them by Federal Account Allocation Committee, FARC, since 2019. The group also asked them to provide a widely published document on the spending of FARC allocations received by the state and the FCT. Since 1999, FARC is responsible for reviewing and adopting the allocation of funds to state and the federal government of Nigeria. The request followed reports that the committee disbursed 1.123 trillion naira to the federal, state and local government to March 2024 alone. Serap's request was contained in a Freedom of Information inquiry dated April 20th, 2024 and signed by each Deputy Director, Kolawole Oluwadare. Without this information, Nigerians cannot follow the actions of their state and the FCT, and they cannot properly fulfill their responsibilities as citizens. This day newspaper has the story this morning.
Right, quick one from the Daily Post newspaper. Northern elders not burdens, and the paperweight Marafak counters Matawali this morning. The coordinator of the Tinubu Shatima 2023 presidential campaign in Zamfara State and APC chieftain Senator Kabiru Garba Marafa has countered the Minister of State for Defense Bello Mohammed Matawali, stating that northern elders are neither a burden nor paperweight. The minister had in a statement to Nigeria Tinubu presidency, Northern Elders Forum, a practical burden to the north. In a statement in Guso on Sunday, Marafa has said rather than negatively portraying the northern elders, Matawali should have listed the achievements, programs, policies, projects of President Bola Tinubu in the north and the country as a whole in the first 10 months of his administration. Read for more from the Daily Post newspaper.
All right, the next story from Punch newspaper. New wage. NLC proposes sanctions for defaulting governors. The Nigeria Labour Congress on Sunday gave a strong indication that it would press for the inclusion of a clause which would prescribe sanctions for governors and local government administrators who failed to implement the new minimum wage. The National Treasurer of the NLC, Akeem Ambali, who disclosed this in an interview with newsmen in Abuja, said the refusal of state governors to pay the current minimum wage was a result of a lack of punitive measures in the Minimum Wage Act of 2019. He said these as the Punch on Sunday learned that the 37-member committee set up by the federal government will meet this week to debate reports submitted by various subcommittees from the 6 zones of the country. President Bola Tinubu, through his Vice President Kashim Shettima, on January 30, 2024, inaugurated a 37-member panel on the new minimum wage. With its membership cutting across federal and state government, the private sector and organized labor, the panel is to recommend a new national minimum wage for the country. Ambali said, when we look at the purchasing power in Nigeria, we can see a huge difference between 2019 and now. With the stoppage of the payment of fuel subsidy, we can see an increase in the hardship of Nigerians. Interested in the story? Check Punch newspaper this morning. New wage. NLC proposes sanctions for defaulting governors.
Now from the Daily Trust newspaper, despite increased derivation fund, oil producing states owe 1.6 trillion naira now to the gist. This is despite the increase of the 9 major oil producing states of Delta, Akwa Ibom, Rivers, Bayelsa, Edo, Imo, Abia, and Anambra are owing 1.56 trillion naira, investigation has shown. This is despite the increase of 405 billion naira revenue derivation fund they received from June last year 2023 to January 2024, in addition to their earnings from the Federal Account Allocation Committee (FAC). Their debt increased by over 26 billion naira from June last year to January this year. The derivation fund is the revenue paid by FAC to state that produces oil and other minerals that are used to earn foreign exchange for Nigeria. Read for more from the Daily Trust.
UTME JAMB sanctions official for ordering Muslim candidate to pull hijab. That's from Vanguard newspaper. Says 1.2 million candidates will have will sit for exam. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board JAMB said yesterday its official who directed a female candidate to remove her hijab before entering the examination hall in Lagos had been appropriately sanctioned. It also said the conduct of the 2024 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination UTME, which commenced on Friday, April 19, 2024, had been seamless as over 1.2 million candidates would have successfully taken the examination by today. Reports had emerged that a candidate donned in hijab was asked to remove her head cover during the accreditation process before being allowed into the examination hall at Bafunto Institute, Ile-Iwe bus stop, Ejigbo, Lagos. The development has been trailed by controversies as some adherents of a particular religious faith rose against the action. Reacting to the development in a statement yesterday, the board, which said such action was not in line with its rules, explained that official was sanctioned to serve as the deterrent to others who might wish to toe the same line. In the statement tagged, Real Lagos Center stops hijab-wearing candidate through its spokesman, Fabian Benjamin, JAMB expressed regret at the incident. Interested in the story? Check Vanguard newspaper.
All right, from Daily Trust newspaper, 2,583 Nigerians killed, 2,164 abducted in 3 months. That's coming from a report this morning. At least 2,583 people were killed and 2,164 kidnapped in the first quarter of this year, 2024. A data from Bacon Security Intelligence Limited, a security management company based in Abuja, has shown the data which recorded the number of killings, abductions across the country from January to March showed that 80% of the killings and 94% of the abductions occurred in the north. This report, however, conflicts with the position seen by the National Security Advisor, Nuri Badu, who said that casualty figures were going down. The consulting firm's report showed that an average of 28 persons were killed and 24 were kidnapped daily. The Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, had earlier this month during the maiden edition of the annual lecture series organized by the Nigerian Army Resource Center in Abuja, said security situation had improved. Read for more from the Daily Trust newspaper.
Army, 2 officers, 4 soldiers killed in ambush firefight with terrorists. That's from this day newspaper this morning. Rider to that says troops gallantly fought through the ambush, eliminated several terrorists, captured equipment. The Nigerian Army headquarters said weekend that 2 Army officers and 4 soldiers were killed during a firefight with terrorists in Niger State. Following an ambush, it said 2 soldiers were wounded and hospitalized. A statement signed by Director, Army Public Relations, Major General Oyema Nwachuku, said 6 personnel paid the supreme price following the firefight. It said troops gallantly fought through the ambush and eliminated several terrorists and captured equipment. The statement said troops of 1 Division Nigerian Army deployed at Alawa and Arena while on a fighting patrol to Karaga village in Shiroro local government area of Niger State had an encounter in an ambush staged by the terrorists on 19th April 2024. Troops gallantly fought through the ambush and eliminated several of the terrorists as well as captured some of their equipment. Sadly, the troops suffered a temporary setback as 6 personnel comprising 2 officers and 4 soldiers paid the supreme price. The statement said the general officer commanding 1 division and commander Operation World Punch, Major General Landers Saraso, on behalf of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoji Lagbaja, sympathized with the families of the deceased personnel and promised them that the unfortunate setback will be avenged by the troops. This story is from This Day newspaper this morning.
All right, from Daily Trust, inmate regains freedom after 4 years without case file. The Chief Judge of Edo State, Justice Daniel Okubowa, has set free and awaiting the trial inmate Saliu Akonde, charged with rape after he spent 4 years at the Auchi Medium Security Correctional Center without a case file. Justice Okubowa said the visit was part of his activities to decongest the correctional center and to promote speedy trial of inmates. He noted that Section 472 of the Edo State Administration of Law 2018 entrusted the court within the mandate to ensure criminal matters were speedily dealt with and reduce congestion of criminal cases in the courts. I recall the City and Crime last Thursday, that Wednesday, last week, Justice Okubowa set free 4 awaiting trial inmates from the Oko and Beni Correctional Center. Read for more from the Daily Trust.
EFCC Bello battle moves to appeal court. Riders to that anti-graft agency wants court to set aside order stopping ex-governor's arrest. Nothing must happen to Yahaya Bello Ibira youth. 1. That's from Vanguard newspaper this morning. The battle by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC to remove all illegal hindrances in its effort to arrest and bring for trial the immediate past governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State will begin today as the Abuja division of the Court of Appeal as the anti-graft agency has approached the court to set aside the interim injunction barring it from arresting the former governor. The former governor, who is facing a 19-count charge of the alleged complicity in money laundering, breach of trust and misappropriation of funds to the tune of about 80.2 billion naira, had relied on the order he secured from a high court in Kogi State to spawn invitations from the anti-graft agency. His failure to appear before the Federal High Court in Abuja last Thursday for his planned arraignment led trial judge Emeka Nwite to adjourn the case to Tuesday. Even though Bello was absent to take his plea, however, his team of lawyers led by Mr. Abdul Wahab Muhammad SCN notified the court of the pendency of the matter before the appellate court. Mohammed San contended that it was wrong for the EFCC to apply for an arrest warrant against the erstwhile governor when the appellate court was already seized of the facts of the case. Vanguard newspaper has this story this morning.
From the Nation newspaper, Alake promises to probe suspected illegal mining in Benue. Anyone found culpable will be punished. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, has said the federal government will investigate the alleged illegal mining operations in Benue State. They also said those found culpable will face the full wrath of the law. The minister spoke after listening to submissions from representatives of affected mining operators and relevant mines inspectorate officials of the state. Some weeks ago, a video of 15 trucks laden with materials suspected to be uranium and extracts from Kwende local government area of Benue State went viral. Following the posting of the video, Alake ordered discreet investigation by his ministry's mine inspectorate. The investigation reportedly revealed that the video was the result of inter-firm rivalry over the control of mining areas. This prompted the minister to summon relevant stakeholders from the state to get the true picture of the situation. And after listening to all submissions, Alake noted discrepancies in the account of the representatives of the communities, the operators, and the mines inspectorate officials. Read for more from The Nation newspaper.
And with that story, we wrap it up on the first segment of the program this morning. We'll take a break. When we are back, it will be time for our analysts to analyze some of the stories we've taken. Please stay with us.
We have Ambassador Kunle Adeloye, a social commentator and also a media expert. All right, Sarah, good morning.
Good morning to you.
All right, welcome on board. All right, from the issues and the dailies, many stories were read this morning, and we have one from the leadership newspaper. It says, Ondo. Demand for cancellation of APC primary heightens as Akinteriwa and other aspirant complain and asks for a reschedule of primary election. Now, judging by what transpired across the state, during the weekend, what do you make of all of these activities? Because Nigerians are worried that if a party, cannot follow the guidelines laid down by its party for activities, how will same party be able to follow the constitution of Nigeria if in power?
Well, thank you so very much. And let me quickly greet our listeners at home. Good morning. Yeah, regarding the APC primary that took place on Saturday, to be honest with you, I did not witness the primary in any of the centers.
Please, can you repeat yourself?
Reports. What do you say?
Can you please repeat yourself?
Not witness the primary in any of the centers across all those states. But if the reports we are having is anything to go by, therefore, it will be said that that primary is condemnable. Because if the reported name, shooting in Idoi, fighting in Ward 10, Ward 11, and other places across Ondo State, if it actually took place, it points to the fact that we have not learned anything about democracy. Now, what we're having is just a disguised democracy, but militarism. Because I honestly believe that when issue of contest is to be in place, people should be given free level playing ground to exercise their franchise without being harassed, intimidated, molested, or threatened. But if that has gone viral are actually the true state of affairs, then those that are calling for cancellation of the outcome of the primary must be right, and the needful must be done by the appropriate authorities within the party. And as a matter of fact, if we are saying that we want the people to vote, I don't think can be a representative of the opinion, the intention, the will of the people, and that we have to be very, very careful, because if it could go to extent of a warlike affair, then what will happen when we have the governorship election in November 16? We may be amongst various political parties. Will it not be a panacea to war? I am afraid that the future might be blinking. I am afraid that if that mentality as represented in what has been claimed to have happened on Saturday should be taken to November 16 governorship election, then it is obvious that Ondo State DG might not be allowed to choose freely the governor they really want. There might be imposition and there might be lots of damages ahead of us. It is condemnable. If what we see is correct, it should be condemned by right thinking Nigeria. And people that must have perpetrated that crime must be made to face the music. This is my position.
All right, thank you so much, Ambassador. Now, today's issue of SERAP calling out governors and the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, to publish the spending of the FARC allocation of phase lawsuit. Now, I want us to look at it from this angle. We've seen SERAP call out the governors, like they've issued like 4, 5, 6 press statement this year alone. And with the look of things, no step has been taken so far aside calling them out, talking to them on either on the national television or in the newspapers. What do you make of this, all this press release, press statement without any action that has followed all this while?
All those in the position of authority, it is incumbent on them to be transparent, to be honest, and make their report of accountability open to all citizens for their verification. SERAP, that is the Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project, I think one of the roles they be playing recently is to wake Nigerians up as to be asking questions from our leader. Because it seems that all of us, we are sleeping on our rights. And we have this Freedom of Information Bill Act, Freedom of Act in place, which of course empower an average Nigerian to demand for information from people that are saddled with the responsibility of leading and acting on our behalf. So if SERAP is now calling that various state governors and the Minister of FCT should make public the statement of account of how revenue accrues to them, since 1999 should have been spent. I don't think they are doing something extraordinary. They are just doing the needful. And of course, if they have been issuing statement and it seems that no action have been taken, I think it's going to be a good panacea, a good foundation for impending legal suits that they claim that they will institute. But again, we don't need to wait till when you are sued to court, when you are tossed around, when you are pushed around, because you do the little if you don't have any skeleton in your cupboard. That is why I want to join Sarah and millions of Nigeria to say that let our leader be accountable. When we are voting, you have claimed that you are going to be representing us. If you are representing me, you must give me feedback about actions that you have taken on my behalf. When you are not doing this, then you are no more representing me. You are seeing yourself as my boss. And it should not be, democracy should not be seen as master-servant relationship. So let them do the needful, so that let us know exactly what is happening. Thank you.
All right, another one before we move out to other issues in the daily this morning. NLC is proposing sanctions for the 14 governors, that won't implement the new minimum wage that will be announced on 1st of May. What do you make of this? Will it see the light of the day?
It's laughable. It's very, very laughable. I don't think there is any sanction that can be proposed or inculcated into that agreement that will be enforceable or implementable. What we need to look at is that we need to, first of all, create a sort of balance. We know of a fact that after the first subsidy removal, a huge sum of money have been added up to what has been accruable to various tiers of government, state government inclusive. So if the astronomical increase in the allocation to various state government will not be enough to accommodate the proposed minimum wage or the would be minimum wage to be approved, then the presidency should sit with the governor to look at the revenue available and see if we can tinker legally with the sharing ratio so that it can allow for seamless payment of the would-be minimum wage. And this must be done to time so that the National Assembly will be able to tinker with the allocation formula and approve without undue delay. Then the state government on their own, they must begin to know that payment of minimum wage is not an achievement at all. It is a right, because when you work, you certainly deserve your pay, and that pay should be paid as at when due. So they should begin to look at how to cut wastages, reduce wastages, all those ways that they have been throwing away our common patronages should be stopped. And again, I will appeal to state governors to again look into the area of working with the aim of increasing the internally generated revenue of each of the states. I am not saying this with the mind of the fact that they should go into taxing the citizen because we are saturated. There is tension. There is economic crisis. So I am not looking at double taxing the citizens. But I want to say that there are a lot of untapped resources in our states that needs to be looked into and tapped so that this can gear up our revenue base so as to create a panacea for seamless payment of the minimum wage. There shouldn't be any complaint about payment because the prices of foodstuff and everything that we use in this country has gone up more than 50%. More than 50%. So to give people a living wage or a means of livelihood, it is sacrosanct that new minimum wage must be approved and must be paid so that we can live averagely. This is my take.
Thank you so much.
All right, Ambassador Kunle Adeloye. Despite the rise, liquefied petroleum gas rising by 7.10% in domestic market. And of course, this morning it is out again that there is energy crisis as a disco still under pressure as allocation drops to 3,000 megawatts. And this time around, customers on band A, they can meet the demands of customers under band B and band A as expected, to enjoy minimum hours of 20 hours of electricity supply per day. Now that is evidence that we do not even have enough on ground, to distribute. How far do you think we would go, with the new policy, band A, band B, asking people to pay for more while you do not have enough on ground? How long would this kind of crisis persist, both with those transmitting and even people at home using the electricity?
This band A, band B policy of electricity distribution for me is shameful, is shambolic, is disgraceful, is unspeakable. In fact, it's not a thing that need to be people published or to make noise about, because ordinarily it is expected that Nigerians should enjoy unbroken power supply, uninterrupted power supply. Telling us that there will be some people in band that will enjoy 20 hours, some enjoy 10, 8, this and that. It is disgraceful, it's unspeakable, it's an admission of failure on the part of these people handling the sector. And again, this problem has been on for long, but we are scratching it on the face. We need to have a holistic look into the cabal and the quagmire that has brought us this far. One, when we talk about privatization of the electricity sector, the only privatization I see as an individual is that they just change name, put into PLC, this and that, but the structure, the functionality, the supply, the carriage still remains in the hand of the same set of people. So we have not seen any departure from what it was when we are called NEPA. So I want to believe, and we need to ask a question. The person that claimed to buy majority share in this, we need to ask, what type of job has he been doing before? What is expecting? What is the area of specialization? What I'm saying in essence is that let the current president look into this issue of power supply critically well, and the saboteur.
We have a minister.
Forget about the minister. Minister is responsible to the president. Minister can be removed anymore tomorrow.
And sir,
that's the final say what's happening here.
And sir, don't you think? There's some level of sacrifice, that Nigerians have to pay. In the meantime, maybe it's going to be like this
my brother. What kind of sacrifice are you equally advocating for again? You'll be sacrificing. You cannot have the 3 square meal completed in a day. You cannot sleep with your 2 eyes because of insecurity. Even your job is threatened. Your lifespan is being reduced because of all manners of things that are causing some reduction in our lifetime. You are still asking for sacrifice. Whether you want us to say that we cannot breathe again. You see, we have made enough sacrifice. Other countries of the world who have similar problem like us, they have departed from that angle, they have gotten it all right, and they are moving on. Why are we retrogressing instead of progressing? I think our problem is leadership. It is the handlers of this story. It is the handlers of these sectors. I think it is corruption. The sector is corruption reading, it is when this corruption is stopped and the right person is put in right place to carry out the right thing that we can get it right. Don't ask for further sacrifice from Nigeria again, unless you want to kill us.
All right. I'd like to quickly, join this one together. Over 2,583 Nigerians killed and 2,164 abducted in 3 months. That was coming from a report done by a security agency in Abuja, which the National Security Advisor Noor Ibadu has, countered that, it might not really be correct. But one thing I actually want us to look at is this. In Edo State, the Chief Judge of Edo State Justice Daniel Okubowa has actually set free an awaiting trial inmate Saliu Akande. He was charged with rape, after 4 years in Auchi medium security correctional center without a case file. Don't you think, talking security now, don't you think we really need to do a bit more? Stakeholders. Now, a judge has done this. How can we reflect this across the federation? Because a lot of people are waiting. Somebody had to wait for 4 years without a case file.
There are a lot of funny things that are happening in our fatherland called Nigeria. If you have Godfather, when you commit crime, you may not be made to be punished for that crime. And if it is obvious that the noise is becoming too much, a lot of magic will happen. That the actual person that committed the crime will be set free. An innocent person that never knew anything about that crime committed will need to face the music. Look at the man that was allegedly charged with rape. And today, we are claiming that there is no case file. And the question you and I need to ask is that, how was he arrested? Who arrested him? On what basis? How was he, how was he put into that prison when there is no single record? I want to bet you it is more than what the news has spoken about. There are more to that. But right. However, what I want to tell you is that the problem of insecurity in this country and insincerity, deceit, and compromise will not stop until some people are made to face the music of the crime they are committing against the nation on daily basis. People that can be said to be very important personalities, they are the one calling spade instrument for carrying baggage.
All right, thank you.
The right thing is done, we will not move anywhere. And the security agencies should still be encouraged more to do more. To do that you and I can go to a place of work freely without being kidnapped or molested, so that there will be peace in this country. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Kunle Adeloye, for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me. God bless you. Have a lovely day.
God bless you. Day too. Bye for now. All right, dear listener, we just spoke with Ambassador Kunle Adeloye, public affairs analyst on issues in the dailies this morning. You can keep your own calls coming in now. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, my sister.
Good morning. Your name and your location.
This is Ola from Akura.
All right, let's have your take.
There's no way in the world that we have a perfect election. Because in this country, when election took place, general election in Lagos,
I guess that's the networking as well. Try the studio line. If you one or two calls again, 0805-551-1110, 0805-551-1110, or 0705-551-1116. Issues in the dailies as we take them one after the other, and of course we have taken a lot this morning, and equally the hobby sports from 7:30 to 8. You get more sport update this morning.
Hello, good morning.
So I called back.
All right.
As I was saying, there's no way in the world that was a perfect election. Yes. Now, people are complaining. Even that whether I'm supporting whether it's good or something of that nature. People are now complaining. But in this country, where for elections was trying to take place last time, before people get to the polling units, they have already posted the job already. There is this country. People are not people. But in this country, in Lagos, there's some group of people are telling some group of people not to come out and vote.
All right, so thank you very much for your comments there. It's a wrap on today. On issues in the dailies, and of course, if you check it, we've taken stories or cut across different national dailies. My name is Mike Femi Halim. Enjoy the rest of your day. God bless Nigeria.
Ayola Fatukun is my name. Keep listening to Glow 99.1 FM. Good morning.